Now, to have access to our Finder window, we simply click on the Finder icon, which is located at the bottom left-hand corner on our dock. Now, when we click on our Finder icon, we'll open our Finder window. Now, before we dive into the new features of the Finder window, we can first look at some of the window buttons, which basically went through a minor change in Yosemite. Now, at the top, we've got the 3 traffic lights or the window buttons, the red one being our close, minimize, as well as our maximize button. However, this time around with our maximize button, if we simply click on it, it will take the window into full screen view. Now in Yosemite, other than our mountain lion and lion, we had the full screen view button was located in the top right hand corner. This time around they have removed the button and they have now combined it with the maximize button. So now if I click on that button again, it will bring it back to the normal window mode. If I want to use the old-fashioned maximize button, then if I keep my cursor on the maximize button, I simply hold down the Alt key and I'll see that my maximize will actually turn into the plus. Now when I click on this option, it will then make my window into a larger format. And if I hold down again and I click on the plus button again, it will then bring it back to the previous mode as what I had it initially. So that is basically how my maximize button have changed within Yosemite. Now moving on into the Finder window, I can also show my additional bars as well as views by going to the view button at the top, show my tab bar, which will display my tab bar, show my path bar, which will show my path bar at the bottom, and my status bar, which then shows the status of that particular view. Now, if I should go into my view button, I've got an additional option, which is a show preview. Now, what it means is if I should select any file, let me select this image. If I go to my view and I select show preview, it will then give me a preview of that button within my Finder window. Another option within Finder is I've got what they refer to as extensions. Now at the moment I've got my Dropbox icon sitting on my toolbar. However, I'm just going to remove this icon for now, customize toolbar, and I can then drag that icon off. Now, if it's in a situation where I want that icon back, I can do it one of two ways, by simply right-clicking or control and click or 2 fingers click on my trackpad, and I can go to customize toolbar and I can drag that icon back into my toolbar again. However, if I decide to use the extensions, I can simply go in the route by going to my system preferences. Let me keep my Finder window open. Go into my system preferences. In my system preferences, I've got the option called extensions. Within my extensions, I go into Finder and I can simply tick on the Dropbox option, which will then add that button back into my toolbar. Also, after it's been loaded up, I can now also use the Dropbox functions that is included within my Finder, where I can share the certain folders or share certain files within my Dropbox. A new feature that has been included within Finder is also the ability to do batch renaming. So basically, to do the batch renaming, I have to first select the number of files. So I'm going to go into my documents folder. In my documents folder, I will then select my personal folder. In my personal folder, there is files or screenshots that was taken. So now if I click on the one screenshot and then I hold down my shift key and I click on the last one, I've now selected those 5 files. I can now do a secondary click, 2 fingers click on the trackpad, or control and click, and I can then select the rename 6 items option. After selecting the rename 6 items, my batch name box will become available where I can simply find and I can replace it with. So say for instance we type in the word screen shot and then we replace it with, let's say, Yosemite, and I then rename, and now I have renamed all of those files into Yosemite. I can also have various options within my batch renaming. So if I go 2 fingers click, rename 6 items, I can replace text, add text, or change the format of the text, where I can change the name and index, or I can change the name with a counter and change the file name, or the file name will be then after, or I can change it before the name. Then I can also change the counter in my batch renaming. I can also add additional text. After the name, I can add additional text to my file or all my files in one batch. So that is my batch renaming within my Finder. Also, part of my Finder is the ability to use my AirDrop also with my iOS devices. Now there are certain things that needs to be considered before even using the AirDrop for my iOS devices. First of all, there are certain machines that have the ability to access the iOS device AirDrop, and it can be used with devices using iOS 7 and upwards. Now, the website that is displayed at the bottom of the screen is the website that will show you if the machine that you are using is currently compatible with AirDrop or using AirDrop with the iOS devices. Also very handy to know is that your machine does have Bluetooth 0x6 or Bluetooth LE. Now to do that, we simply go to our Apple in the top left hand corner. We go to About This Mac to take us into our System Profiler. Now within our System Profiler, we go into System Report. Now within our System Report, we select the Bluetooth option, and within our Bluetooth option under the LM version, it will then show us if we are on 06 or if we are on LE or 04, which is stated in my case. So in my case, I will not be able to use the AirDrop to iOS devices. However, if you have the same option, then it will not be available to you to use your AirDrop to transfer information from your Mac to your iPhone, or from your iPhone or iPad back to the Mac. So that is basically the option or the new features as well as tools available within Finder. Next up, we will look at the new features within the different applications within our Yosemite. Personal training as well as workshops is required. These services are also available within the DigiCape website.